And we only get out of life what we expect. So if you expect bad things to happen to you, if you expect things not to work out, if you expect that you have to work very, very, very hard to get every single thing in your life, that's what you're gonna get. Most people spend the majority of their lives trying to figure out what it really takes to live a life that's full of meaning, purpose, and abundance. However, even though most people are striving towards this, it's very few who end up really understanding what it takes to get there. Now, over the past 15 years, I've dedicated my life to figuring out how to do exactly this. And what I found, especially after studying the people who have gone down these paths and have accomplished so much already, is that to create this type of life, you have to be intentional. So in today's video, I want to share with you the 5 main takeaways that I have from creating a life that's filled with meaning and intention. It's what helped me create the business that I have today, LMM Africa, helping me 10x my income, build my team, and truthfully just create a life that is so fulfilling and meaningful to me, working with people I love, doing work that I love, and being able to show up and pour back into my community. So the 5 tips I'll be teaching you today, I do not take them lightly, and they contribute heavily to the success that I've been able to experience to this very day. So I would highly recommend you take out your pen or paper, maybe get your notes out on your phone, because once you're able to tap into these things fully, not just do them halfway, but really tap into them and embody them, it's when you'll start seeing the results you want all throughout your life and in your business. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Lauren Nelson, and I'm the CEO and founder of LMM Africa, a digital marketing company. I'm also a personal brand and sales coach, and I help entrepreneurs turn perfect strangers into paying customers online just by using their personal brands. And with that being said, welcome back to the dailies. Now, before we get into today's video, just a quick announcement. The waitlist is now open for the Content to Cash Masterclass. So if you are interested in learning how to sell online using your personal brand, you want to learn the psychology behind sales, you want to learn my signature sales content framework, then I highly recommend that you join us in our upcoming class. The dates will be released soon, so go ahead and click the link down below to sign up today, and we can't wait to see you there. Now, let's get into these 5 tips, starting with tip number 1. This tip, let me start off with this. This tip will be a little bit controversial, I will say, because it will require you to question the way you've always been doing things, how you've always related to the world. And it's this: you have to reassess how you've been trusting God. Now, a lot of us say we trust God. We believe that God is directing our path, but having trust in God also means you have to have enough trust to let go, enough trust to release, enough trust to listen to that inner voice when it tells you that it's time to go, when it's time to do something different, when it's time to connect in new and maybe even uncomfortable ways. However, many people, when they hear God speak to them, they ignore it because of that fear. And if it's one thing that I've learned that has worked so well for me, it's learning how to trust God, even if it defies logic. It's scary. Learning how to release and let God take the wheel, it's scary, especially when you don't see another way out, when it logically, it only makes sense to be A, B, then C. But sometimes God wants to take you from point A to point Z, and we don't have to worry about the how. But that's the beautiful thing about being able to trust God and know that with God on your side, He can move mountains. It's crazy of us to think, right? The God that created the heavens and the earth and created every single thing. Everything you look around at today, God created. Yet we are so concerned about how will God get us this next opportunity? Do you understand that the opportunity you are asking God for is minuscule to what He's created already? Like, it is blowing my mind. It's truly blowing my mind that we think so small of God. We think that He's not capable of doing the impossible. God heals the sick. He created the world. He created you. Yet when it comes to something small, like, oh, help me figure out how I can get this next business deal, help me to figure out how I can get in a better situation, we doubt God. And so that's tip number one. No matter what, trust God and listen to your inner voice. God will never lead you astray. He might lead you into a place that's uncomfortable, where it forces you to trust Him even more, but He'll never leave you hanging when you decide to start following Him. So just keep that in mind. If you're in a season right now where it's time to let go and let God, trust and believe that He will direct your path. He will not leave or forsake you. Amen. Amen. All right, let's get into tip number two. Tip number two, don't be afraid to fail publicly. So many people stop their bag because they don't want to look stupid. If you are not willing to look stupid, I can promise you right now, you will make no money. When I first got online, trying to grow my business, trying to build my personal brand, I was the absolute worst speaker you probably could have ever thought of. Like, it was so bad. It was at the point where I would go live on social media, and before I would go live, I would cry. Like, I had so much anxiety when it came to showing up. Even it was situations where I would go to present, I would volunteer to present at these different talks and presentations. And there was times where I would run off the stage crying. So embarrassing, I know. But one thing I knew is that if I wanted to get to where I could speak to thousands of people on a stage at a time, be able to present confidently, being able to get people to listen and care and buy into my ideas, I had to master storytelling. I had to master being able to speak confidently online. And that meant I had to be okay with being mediocre. Not even mediocre. I was terrible. I had to be okay with being terrible. And once I was able to get out of my own way and fully commit to the process of showing up consistently while knowing that, okay, this is going to hurt, people might laugh. And even at that time, I didn't even care if people laughed, because those people weren't going to be the ones paying my bills. So, like, laugh or not, will you pay my bills? Will you buy my next flight to my next vacation destination? Are you going to be buying my car? I don't think so. So all the things or people that could have possibly distracted me from getting to where I wanted to go, I deleted them from my brain because it wasn't relevant to my goals. It wasn't relevant to my process and my progress. So this is your reminder. If you're looking to create a life that is filled with meaning and fulfillment, it will require you to get out of your own way. And it will also require you to fail publicly, consistently. Tip number three, and I will say this is something that might sound a little bit cliche. Everyone says it, but I'm about to break it down for you so that you can truly understand why it's so important. Tip number three is to have a clear vision. And when I say vision, I don't just mean talking about the cars, the houses, the places you want to travel. Yeah, sure, that's nice. But the types of visions that really move us far and help us maintain high levels of discernment is having a vision that is based on how you feel. Let me break it down. My vision for my life is to live a life filled with freedom, autonomy, a life that allows me to be creative in any way I decide I want to be, a life that allows me to be financially free, where I don't have to depend on anyone, a life that allows me to have peace of mind, a life that allows me to be in flow and to actively do what I love. By knowing the type of life and how I want to feel in that life, I am able to turn down opportunities, let go of things, and make sure I'm staying aligned with the life that I want to create. The only reason I'm able to do what I do now is because 15 years ago, I knew for a fact, oh, I can't be working a 9 to 5 because, like, it doesn't give me the freedom to do what I want. Like, what if at 2 p.m. I want to go to this place? Or, it just didn't give me the level of freedom I wanted. And for me, having that freedom is one of the most important things. Also, I realized that another part of freedom is being able to have the financial capacity to do what you want when you want to. And that means, let's say I have a salary that only allows me to make this much. Okay. If I know that, okay, what I want to do requires me to make this much, but my salary, my boss told me I can only make this much, then it's not going to work. Like, I can't, boss, what are we supposed to do about this? Like, I can't make more money than this. Like, I'm stuck. I want to go travel around the world, take a year off if I want to, but because you said my salary is this, I can't do it. So for me, I really wanted to find new ways that I could be innovative and creative and create new paths of freedom for myself. Now, obviously, this route isn't for everyone because it requires you to take huge risks. It requires you to be okay with maybe even one day losing everything. It takes a lot. And obviously it's a lot more than just saying you want to start a business and you go full time in business. It takes a lot of time, effort, energy, and sacrifice. But by knowing the feelings I wanted to have, by knowing the life I wanted to create, I knew that, okay, I have to be willing to sacrifice X, Y, and Z in order to get it. So by having a clear vision, it then also gives you a map. It gives you a clear runway of, okay, what are the requirements for me to accomplish this thing? What do I have to give up? If I don't want stress and chaos and dysfunction in my work life, then what does that mean for me? I have to let go of clients that bring that into my space. Once we realize that creating the life we want is a choice, it's an active choice. You have to actively say no to things, even if it means giving up something in the short term. Recently, I had to let go of one of my clients because it was no longer aligned for me. I was like, it's too much dysfunction. We are not aligned anymore. Even though, yeah, it's bringing in some income to the business, I need to let it go. Immediately when I let it go, I had another opportunity. And so again, this goes back to trusting God as well. If you have a clear vision and you trust God and you're willing to let go without the fear of missing out or the fear of not having enough, God will always replace it with more because you trust him. You expect it. I expect God to provide me everything I need and more. I expect God to help me craft a beautiful and fulfilling life. I expect God to show up for me even when I don't know how it's going to happen. I expect it. And we only get out of life what we expect. So if you expect bad things to happen to you, if you expect things not to work out, if you expect that you have to work very, very, very hard to get every single thing in your life, that's what you're going to get. For me, I believe that my life will be easy. Opportunities will always find me. I will always find myself getting back into alignment and getting back into flow and having the space and time and energy to do everything I love and more. Now, obviously, will there be ups and downs in that and trying to re-navigate to that? Absolutely. But I always have a North Star to come back to. And that's what you need as well. And that's what you get when you have a clear vision. So again, when you have a vision, it allows you to be intentional about your action steps. It allows you to be intentional about the types of work that you do. It allows you to be intentional about the people and the environments that you surround yourself in. And it allows you to be intentional about the energies that you consume and the energy that you put out as well. Tip number 4, become the head generalist. Now, this is specifically for business owners. I had to learn this the hardest way possible over the past 6 years. Like, this has been so tricky for me because when you start a business and you try to build a team, immediately you want to hand over everything to your team. You're like, okay, I hired a marketer, I hired a graphics guy, I hired a communications person. They should automatically know how to do everything. That mindset is completely wrong, and it's the quickest way to lead yourself into disappointment. You need to know what you need before you can expect anyone else to give it to you. And what I found for me is that I always found myself getting disappointed because I would have such high expectations without knowing how to actively communicate what I needed or what I needed people to do. And because of that, things always went south, right? Whether I got upset with the person doing it, I was upset with myself, projects fell short. Learning how to navigate through the different parts of your business will be key, especially if you're looking to hire a team. So not only have I taken the time out to focus on mastering my skills of sales and marketing, but I've also taken the time to learn various other aspects of my business as well. For example, I learned how to do the graphic designing. I learned how to do video editing. I learned how to do project management. I took the time to learn these different parts of my business to ensure that when I brought people on board as team members, that when I set the expectation, I also knew what it looked like as an end goal. I understood the timelines of, okay, this task should take this amount of time. So at the end of the day, when you're becoming a head generalist, it saves you money, it saves you time, it saves you stress. And those things are all important to know how to do if you're looking to create a life that is, again, fulfilling. Now, moving into our last and final tip. Tip number 5 for how you can begin creating a life that's filled with meaning, abundance, and success. It is prioritizing personal development. A lot of people feel like when they get to a certain age, they no longer have to expand or pour into themselves. But what I've realized is that if our cup is empty, we will never be able to pour into those around us. And really, when we're looking to create a life that does have meaning, that does make us feel that level of fulfillment, it always comes back to how much we can give to others. So with that in mind, we have to be very intentional about the time, energy, and effort we spend giving back to ourselves, letting ourselves feel that level of love that we give so often to everyone else. And by being intentional about our personal development, we will continue to build that level of self-confidence. We will continue to expand our minds and expand the distance in which we're able to see, expand our visions to be even greater because we are allowing ourselves to be more expansive. We are allowing ourselves to think greater than we ever have. And the only way to do this is by getting outside of our current bubbles and learning new things, reading new books, watching new videos, and learning from the people who have already done what we're looking to do. Learning from the people who have already expanded their minds so much that they believe that they can achieve anything they set their minds to. And truthfully, for me, this is something I actively have to remember and actively have to seek out and do and put on my priority list. Because if we are not staying expansive, if we are not being intentional about the things we are pulling in and gravitating to, and the things that are controlling our vibration and how we feel about ourselves and about the world and about other people, then the environments we're in or the content we take in will dictate that for us. So it's important to be intentional about your personal development. Now, if you've made it this far, let me know in the comment section, which tip are you going to be taking today and applying into your life immediately? I'm so interested in hearing you all's thoughts, and let's continue the conversation down below. But if you have not already, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you are interested, again, in learning how to sell online using your personal brand so that you can show up consistently and turn perfect strangers into paying customers, go ahead and click the link down below to join the waitlist for the Content to Cash Masterclass. With that being said, thank you again so much for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with me and hang out. I can't wait to see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great day.